Had to wait for Scarlet and Time to finish up, and then Time just kept on living. His arms were literally detached. His head was hanging by a piece of his skin, and he was just like, no! I'm just kidding, it wasn't that bad. But it did take a while, so we're finally into our third series of the Americas round robin. In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is Probe. In the top left, as the red Zerg, it is Chivo's Cham. Probe repping that Legacy Esports. Also representing the cannon rushes of the world. We do have a Forge on the way, and a Probe is making its way across the map to do some dirty things, not just scout. So Probe, unfortunately, already kind of guaranteed to be bottom 2, if not actually bottom 1. Cham is like somewhat safe at a 2-3 score. If he were to lose to Probe and then lose the next series, I guess that would be kind of worrying for him. But yeah, Probe is in the same spot that Rail was, which is yet to win a series. Now this is quite dirty. Look at this. You blocked in your Probe. You're gonna get the low ground cannon up, but then you're gonna have to get the high ground cannon unless you're gonna want to go for the Robo. Now that's usually what you do against Zerg here, so there we go. Finally the gateway is added on. I was wondering where he's gonna fit that in, but it does fit back there. And yeah, the high ground is not really accessible. You could get a cannon up here, get a pylon up here, but then Creep Spirit will stop you from attacking anything actually too dangerous. But if he does give you high ground vision, then that means later on when you have the Immortals, it's something to fall back to that's even closer to killing the Zerg. So really dangerous stuff there. Cham had the drone go to the natural, realized what was happening, and then sent one to the 6 o'clock base, 6:30-ish. And that is something that Probe's not going to be able to scout too easily. He's actually checking around for another base to try and cannon rush that as well. But he's not going to find it, or if he does, it'll be really, really late. The gateway finished, but he's not making his way to the 7X core. I'm a little surprised by that. You usually don't just have a cannon rush. Because again, you're blocked out by creep. Cham going for a ton of spine crawlers. I don't know if that's really necessary. That's not really a strong response. Like, I thought he would have added a Roachborn by now. Then you start building up to your Ravagers. But I guess he might have already predicted his gases would be denied. His gas, sorry, would be denied. And you really do need 2 gases to go into Ravagers. But he technically is going to have these 2. I don't know. I don't know. Not the usual cannon rush strategy, and not the usual cannon rush defense. I'm not sure how to call it, but Cham, you're getting a couple more drones here. He does eventually. He did find the hatchery, but not with enough time to cannon rush it, but at least he gets the scout. So the lair is coming down here. Probe with the high ground wall off. Doesn't really have any ability to send any units down. I guess he could send a zealot down. There finally is, nope, that's not the gateway. Okay. Not wanting to go down the robotics path. But it seems so good. Cannon is late. Cannon's not here at all. Cannon would stop 2-lings from killing a pylon. That would be embarrassing. Shield batteries are being added on so the stalkers can go up the ramp. But this is where you need Immortals to really punch through the spine crawlers. And this is where Immortals would do a fantastic job of punching through the spine crawlers. Pylon is going to live, looks like, but second pylon is being built and back up. Nidus Worm is Cham's choice. It is being made in the other base. I don't want to call that a natural, but he's going to fit in just pure lings in here, not roaches. Probe could recall his stalkers and then try and hold around the cannon, but he's really not predicting this, which I gotta be a little critical of. He's got Cham in a real bind. So this is usually where you start saying, okay, what can they do to get back? If they're not going to break my cannons with Ravager, then what else could they possibly be doing? And hey, Nidus Storm's really popular. If Probe doesn't predict this and he loses to it, it's definitely on him. He has to make a Nidus Storm here to collect his lings, and then he can do a Nidus Storm over there. That sucks. The Nidus Storm does have that universal call. Call. Except more, it's more like blur. So now, if Probe was thinking about the Nidus Storm, he knows about the Nidus Storm, and maybe he could try and recall and stop the Nidus Storm from his main base entirely. He is adding on cannons and shield batteries, so he's got that much going for him. There he sees the Nidus Storm. What is his choice here? Recall or try and hold with probes? There it is. Lots of lings pouring through here. Cannon is ready, but not completely surrounded. Queens come with this as well. Probe probably should have recalled. There's the recall, but it's already too late. He didn't expect the queens to come, perhaps. Uh-oh, videos. This cannon's also not going to last. More lings are coming through for both Nidus Worms, I guess. It's so weird. Spine colors are falling here, and they still can't break the cannons. The lings have been cleaned up. Shield batteries finished up. The stalkers ended up living in enough numbers, and Cham just simply can't get enough army. He doesn't have the larva to get enough army, and this is where maybe Roche's also would have really helped. Fortunately, you can't put spine crawlers in the Nidus room, but you can bring drones and start spine crawler rushing your opponent for cannon rushing you. Huh? Shield battery even helping out the probes here. Queens are going to take a ton of shots, and they are building up more transfuse energy, but the lings not quite doing it yet. Hit 8 probes, but can't reach to the stalkers. Rochehorn is now on the way, and I think Cham's done it. I think Cham, even before he killed 8 probes, just simply put, has 2 base mining, so just the 1 base, and Probe wasn't getting any farther into breaking Cham with the way that he set this cannon rush up. So, yeah. Here comes the surround. Exactly what the lings are waiting for, and stalkers just do not do well against lings. This is going to be a GG. Cham takes game number 1. I loved Probe's wall off of the cannons, the pylons, the cannon rush, but why not go into the robo play? It's an unnatural. That's what I'm gonna call proxy hatcheries now. Yeah. Great notice impression, thank you. Blarg, blarg. We are going to Port Alexander. Is that one of the good cannon rush maps? Does it matter? Is Probe just going to do whatever he wants? Maybe he goes for one of those fast gateway attacks with the Warp Prism on the 3rd base. Okay. The bottom right's up 1. It is the red Zerg Cham. In the top left is the blue Protoss. It is Probe. Going for that low ground expansion, not doing any shenanigans. Still a lot of things you can do. Aggression. He did... Was this the map? I think it was, where he did the fast gateway attack with the Robo. Warp Prism and tried to break Scarlet before she knew what was going to hit her. Almost worked, but not quite. In fact, Probe had decent games versus Scarlet. His Disruptor Blink play almost took game number 1 off of her, if it wasn't for a bunch of Banelings. I'm kind of hoping he does it here in this game. He's gonna go for a double gateway? Oh, no, he's still cannon rushing. JK, y'all. I was wondering what the hell this probe was doing. Way too fast with the Nexus. Alright, I'm just kidding. It is Canigans, but... It's so weird. It's so weird. Because this shouldn't be the Robo version. The Robo version is, like, stereotypically, I suppose. So it could still be Robo, but... The stereotype is that if you're going to wall up the main, you're, like, super all in. You're going to be building your base over here anyways, basically. And then if you go for a cannon rush on the low ground, you build the forge on the low ground, is that you're opening up opportunities to make a macro game out of it. So maybe this is what he's trying to do, just get the kill, cancel on the hatchery. Unfortunately, it was scouted. The real ideal situation is the cannons finish as the hatchery finishes. It doesn't happen here. Pylons completely block him in. He does still have room to build a gateway if you would so desire. Yeah, going for the cancel, blocks out the hatchery. There is another drone ready to place down the unnatural. Thank you, Pinochle. And this has been just the... Okay, I'll get the cancel, and then I'll get a little bit of the contain as well, and then I'll go back on a macro. Okay, so just starting things off. He does not know about the drone. Maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he thinks this is the drone that's going to go make a hatchery, and he's already on it. Not going to go scout with his probe. This could be dangerous. Cham could just try and play a macro game from here, right? Break the natural eventually with a couple of lings, maybe a couple of queens as well. And then take a third base really quickly behind it. But because he goes for this base, and this might be because he misread the situation, or maybe he really does want to be aggressive, but I think if you take a base like this, you are going to use it to be aggressive. The probe does not go into a Nexus. It goes into a Robo. And could continue the pressure here, especially if his warp gate finishes. Hello. Hello, pylons right here. You can warp in. Thank you, DM Demusi, for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you also, Blade SC2, earlier on with the Tier 1 sub. If you guys haven't used your Twitch Prime, make sure to use it. On whatever channel you're watching the most today, whichever one you want to, but the point is, make sure you use it. This hatchery, I feel like is a... It was like, if it's great if it would have gotten up, it's already halfway done. So he might even try and save it, but it also kind of feels like, you know, if he gets his cancel, if he sees it, I'm not going to bother with it. But it would be the fastest reinforcement point of building roaches, and it would help queens spread creep right up into Probe's face. Probe finally gets that Nexus after Gateway, Cybernex Core, and Robo. Pretty darn slow. But still better than what Cham's looking to have. Contain on one base. He is up to roaches. He's finishing up that speed. The hatchery is, in fact, going to be finished despite being scouted. Cham could maybe even still get a queen out of this and spread some creep. But the Immortal comes through, and I think that actually is no longer a possibility with the Immortal. Immortal is going to add too much damage for the queen to finish. Not even really close. Okay, meanwhile, roaches and lings did break down the 2 cannons in the natural. Actually, was it 1 cannon and a bunch of pylons? It's going to be a pretty hefty loss of that supply cap. Hopefully, Probe is already predicting this. If he gets into 2 Immortals on a Warp Prism, he could try and do an attack. But I think he's going to have to worry a lot more about being attacked. And again, he doesn't know about this base. He thinks that Cham's still on 1 base. That's barely any production whatsoever. He thinks the army is going to get here 10 seconds later than it really does. These Ravagers are already prepared. Going for the Corrosive Biles. He moves out of the way, but he doesn't have any shield batteries here. He was not prepared to deal with an aggressive attack. Once he has a War Prison with his 2 Immortals, though, I think he'll be fine. Oh, I don't know about moving out aggressively against this. Immortals don't do extra damage versus Ravagers. Ravagers have like 20 less health or something, but... be real careful there. Oh, that's his 3rd Immortal? Oh, shit. Yeah, Would love to already have a War Prism, because then he could go and try and chase these Ravagers and pick up dodge the shots. Oh, Ravagers take so long to kill. You have Immortals. Oh, the War Prism's not here. He's not chronoing it either. Oh, the pylon goes down, and that is it. War Prism was his hope, his chance, his best chance to win this game. And Cham just completely slaughters him. GG. GG. Pro playing a pretty weird game. And Cham takes the 2-0. Feeling quite confident about his seeding now in the finals. Bumps him up a little bit more. And that 100%